That man is Jack Gerber, who finished the 2013 Le Mans 24 Hours, 68 years and 111 days old. He was actually the oldest person ever to enter the race as well, just the day before. And the youngest man ever to finish, no guesses for that one, that's the 16-year-old charger, Matt McMurray, 2 years ago. 16 years and 203 days old he was. And I still think it's madness even now, personally, in the same way that I originally thought Verstappen was madness in Formula 1. But okay, he proved me wrong.
Yeah, you got to remember these guys have been doing it since they were probably 6. Okay, so we've got Ryan Diel going to tell us what went wrong there in the ESM pit.
Ryan Diel, not what we want to see. You standing next to me in the pit garage.
No, it's always sucks when you get this far, and I don't know, we're trying to get back out. We had a really rare suspension failure earlier with Chris. And then we've had a second one now, which is a different part, but very uncharacteristic for the Ligier. They're usually pretty strong, so we're not sure if we just got a bad batch. Everything was brand new, obviously, for the race. It sucks. We kind of clawed her back up to the kind of top 7 and 8 there, and points for the WEG was looking pretty good, but that's, like I said earlier, this is a cruel race, and 4 hours from the end, we're trying to fix it, but the wishbone did a lot of damage when it ripped out the gearbox, so I'm glad it didn't happen to Porsche cars, but I'm also sad that it happened, and yeah, it sucks. We've had a great season so far, so we'll regroup, we'll try and get some more points here, and then we go on to the next one.
Thank you.
With 4 hours to go, we've got Lieb and Kobayashi both in the pit lane at the same time. They are leaving Mark Lieb in the number 2 Porsche.
Wow, for the 4th stint.
So this is a quad, yeah.
That's...
Same tyres as well, so they obviously feel that this is okay, it's working, get on with it.
Is that a brave decision or is that a conservative decision?
It just depends how they think they're going to be with fuel stops to the end. They might do a short one now if they really, really, really believe they can get to the end without a safety car. You know, you can't really plan this far out, but if you're going to roll the dice against 2 Toyotas, do you do it now?
Well, Lieb gets out in 2nd position. Kobayashi gets out in 3rd. No change at the front. 3 cars on the lead lap, fighting for the victory at the Le Mans 24 Hours, and there's still every chance it could be any one of the 3 of them. It could be the number 5 Toyota that leads currently. The number 2 Porsche may have one final sting in the tail for Toyota to take it away from them so cruelly, or the number 6 Toyota. Still plenty of space and plenty of pace in that car. So it's not all done and dusted for these guys, though. The Ingolstadt mark, it is now officially game over. They can't jump through the 4 rings this time.
No, not unless by some miracle 2 Toyotas and a Porsche were to break.
That's the only way.
At which point we'd see an LMP2 overall podium finisher.
That's a good point.
But let's see, they're driving as fast as they can, they're doing everything they can, they're saving fuel where they can. They're just going out there and enjoying themselves now, I think. You know, they've been told race, that's clear from the radio messages we're hearing. The fact that Mark Lieb was having to justify why to himself almost, but telling the team, you know, sorry that I've let Davidson through, this is how it happened. At this stage in the game, if this was this stage in a WEC race, you wouldn't really care. So it's interesting to see what they're saying. So Darren Turner coming out of the number 95, and I think that's Fernando Reis. Yeah, Louise and I are both getting confused on this one. So who's with who now? They move them around. Yeah, no, so it's Darren Turner's in what we call the Dane train. So no, that will be Fernando Reis getting ready to replace Richie Stanaway in the number 97.
Into the box comes the 61 Clearwater Ferrari, currently running 4th in GTE AM. Having moved its way up, it's the 61, who's in the car at the moment? Kaita Sawa, the Japanese star, is in that car at the moment. There's the Porsche 919 Hybrid, climbed up to 23rd position, having just gone past Billy Johnson in the Ford. The Rebellion is there in 37th position, you can see. So there are definitely some teams that are struggling. The 50th position, the Rebellion R1, still not officially a retirement. But these 10 are, and there are some big names in amongst it. One of the Chevys, 2 of the Ferraris, 2 of the Porsches. The number 4, Babai Coller's car, and that's the Corvette of Mark Patterson still being recovered. Surely they'll be able to get that one started again.
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, I think they've just put him down on the tarmac at the edge because the engine was probably still running.
Pit stop for the leader. Anthony Davidson is in the Toyota. There won't be a driver change here because he's not been in the car that long. So this will be his third stint?
This will be him starting his third.
Yep, third stint.
Second stint.
No, it is second stint, yeah, because he's only just been in the car, so good point.
So this is him starting his second.
So he will know that Mark Lieb has only got one 13-lap, 14-lap stint left in him. There's the number 1 Porsche. That's not the Porsche we want to see. We want to see the other one. Davidson out to the pits again. And where is the number 2? A long way back. A long way back. So it looks to me as though the number 5 is going to get out with a clear advantage. Anthony Davidson leading the way. Mark Lieb in second position in the Porsche. There's the number 1 Porsche, still on for 6th position in the LMP1 category. And with double points, that's about the same as a podium would be normally. Riding on board with the number 1 Porsche, that's the RGR Morand in front of us. Please get out of the way, says Timo Bernhardt. Sorry, no, it's Brendan Hartley in the car. Thank you very much, says the New Zealander. Off he goes. Kobayashi now up to 2nd place. That's critical. Kobayashi's got through into P2. Where's Mark Lieb? We'll look back and see, but I can't see the Porsche anywhere. Oh, no, there he is. He has come through. So for a moment, the timing screens thought they were 1 and 2. They're not yet.
No. So we're at 10 seconds back, Kobayashi to Lieb. So he has closed that gap by 5 seconds through that point. That's good. You know, Kobayashi's just taken a huge chunk of time out.
But in terms of pit, and that was done on the track. That wasn't done in the pits.
That was not in the pits. Pit stop times are absolutely equal. The ACA doing a fantastic job of equalising the LMP1 pit stops. So, no, that is just pure on track.
Kamui Kobayashi doing what is expected of him, and even more so at the moment, to try and get the Toyota into 2nd position to make it a 1-2 for Toyota. And let's be honest, there's been a Japanese victory. There's never been a Japanese 1-2.
Yeah, but what we've just seen there is a net gain of Davidson of about 15 seconds over the last stint. He's taken 15 seconds out of Lieb. So Kobayashi has taken a little bit out. Kobayashi's taken about 10 seconds out, but Davidson's the one that's doing the hard work. So Davidson set off in the hair, just as we saw with Buemi in the car. It'll be interesting to see what Anthony starts to say about tyres halfway through this stint, because Sebastian Buemi was saying that I think the tyres are going away, but by the time he was halfway through his 2nd stint, if Anthony Davidson's managed that a little better, and that he keeps the tyres with him, I think ultimately he'll get a better triple stint out of this. Porsche radio.
No, Mark, we just need to stretch these stints out. That's why we left you in. This is the only chance we have of winning if it goes green all the way. How many laps? 13 laps to go, mate. 13 laps to go and you're done. 13 awesome laps. Watch out for Toyota.
They confirm the only chance of winning. The only chance of winning is if it's green all the way.
No, the only chance of winning is to stretch it if it's green all the way. So they've got to stretch the stints. That's what they're trying to do. They've realised that they need to start pumping in some 14 lappers if they can do it. You're going to start seeing lift and coast. You're going to start seeing him just trying to eke it out, and they've done the calculations to try and work out where the Toyota's going to be. Yeah.
Davidson leading. Lieb 2nd, Kobayashi 3rd. The Audi, Oliver Jarvis, still in the pits, but still in 4th place. It's going to be a while before they are lapped by the sister car, Andre Lotterer, 6 laps ahead of them still.
I find it odd to hear the Porsche engineers saying already that that's their only chance. Ultimately, you only need one mistake in traffic and you're there. You know, you can make half a minute in traffic over the course of this race now. Easily make half a minute in traffic. There goes 3 seconds. Just lost. So why are they already saying that? It only takes Davidson to have a shocker of a stint through the traffic in the next 45-50 minutes, and suddenly that's flowed back towards them.
Is that a strategy? Do you think they might be trying to get Toyota
telling Toyota that they've given up?
To beat Toyota, they have to be complacent now. That could be a strategy in and of itself.
Let's see. Let's see what they say. I don't know. It is too close to call. You could say that you know, Toyota are absolutely there, and if you looked at the facts, just raw facts in terms of fuel numbers and in terms of what they're doing on tyres and the lap times that Davidson's capable of putting in that number 5 car at the moment, that's fine. But maybe they should be starting to talk about, if that's the case, defending to Kobayashi, because they've only got a 7-second gap there. You know, unless they believe the Toyotas can go 5 seconds a lap faster and turn it on. Maybe they know something we don't in those terms. They've been looking at the sector times and know that actually Toyota have got a load of time in their pocket.
Drive-through penalty for the Michael Sheck racing car.
Negative, it was fuel stop only, same tyres, same driver, forced on the tyre. Porsche, 16-1 behind, 16-1 behind. You will hit the traffic this lap, you will hit traffic this lap.
They're just telling Davidson there, he's on his 4th stint and they haven't changed tyres.
Quad stint on the tyres yet, so you know they're just trying to save a tyre stop. So, but what that also says is they believe that it's going to be within half a minute of each other at the end if all things remain equal. That's the calculation they've done, because that's the time it takes to change the tyres. So they're trying to save an entire tyre stop.
It's incredible. That is absolutely incredible. How is it going to be that close when we consider these are the big 3 giants of the automotive world right now? Porsche, Toyota, Audi, and yet there's not much. When everything's going tickety-boo for all 3 teams, there is not much to choose between them at all.
No, just seeing number 68, Joey hand-driven Ford come past us in the GTE Pro class. 7.3 seconds now the gap to Tony Villander, who's now taken over the number 82 car. So we've now got one of the 2 rapid peddlers in. They're saving Giancarlo Fisichella for the end of the race. Interesting thing about the Mark Lieb situation is that they've actually chosen to give that little bit more time also to our to Neil Yarney before he gets in that car.
Looks as though Louise Beckett has something for us down in pit lane.
Well, we can see the number 26 G-Drive on a charge with Will Stevens. Roman, you're just about to get in. As always, LMP2 is still close battles.
Yeah, it's normal. It's very close. We get some issues during the night. We get 1 minute penalty. We get a drive-through, so we get the punctures, so we lost something about more than 3 minutes. So it's exactly what is the difference between us and the P1. But you know, it's still 4 hours to go and everything can happen. We try to push as hard as we can, and it's Le Mans.
No further action taken on the 36 for their pit stop that was under investigation. So what have you got to pull out the bag to get back to them?
But I think what we saw from 36 that they get 2 guns over the white line. So normally it should be also something, you know. And yeah, we got so much drive-through today, especially due to the slow zones, which is, you know, it's like that. But yeah. Racing.
Thanks.
Yeah, Roman Ruznov there, the man that's the link into the Gazprom money. He's been doing this program now in various different guises. Porsche radio.
11 laps, mate, 11 laps. Eyes forward, keep pushing.
And that's why Kobayashi is coming.
So, no, I mean, Roman alluding to penalties and equality there almost. So, you know, there will have been a discussion between team managers and the ACO about what went on in that pit stop. And, you know, there will have had to be justification for them not to receive a penalty. And they haven't been given that, so that's fine. Let's get on with it, Roman, and let's win it on the track. You know, he's had a 1 minute stop-go penalty. That's been for something fairly bad. You don't get thrown a 1 minute stop go unless you've done something fairly fundamental. So let's see where he goes. But at the moment, Menezes and the Alpine number 36 car, which is just pitting now, looks very, very strong.
Davidson lead Kobayashi. Toyota, Porsche, Toyota, covered by 25 seconds. The gap is coming down all the time, though, between the second Toyota and the leading Porsche in second place. In the GTE Pro category, the gap is now to 7.4 seconds for Joey Hand in front of Tony Villander in the Ferrari, and that battle is still raging. It's not done and dusted yet for Ryan Briscoe either. He's actually still, would you believe it, on the same lap as those two. So if anything happens to those two guys up in front, there is another Ford in reserve just in case.
Yeah, and Billy Johnson's catching Darren Turner at quite a pace as well.
This race looks like it could come to the Fords at the bitter end.
Exactly. Billy Johnson in the 5th place GTE Pro car, just done a 3:51.5, which is the fastest lap for that car so far. And then we're looking at DT's just done a 3:57.8. You know, so there's a huge pace disadvantage there for the Aston. I think that Billy Johnson's got his eyes set on catching and passing Turner before the end. So we could see, you know, Ferrari and 3 Fords up there. In what order, I don't know. The gap has settled itself at 7 seconds with between Villander and Hand. We missed their pit stop somewhere along the line where they didn't take tyres. Neither car took tyres. So that's interesting as well, that they're managing to double stint and they're not changing tyres when they've changed driver.
Well, the number 1 Porsche is up into 21st place overall, and that makes it 6th place over in the class, of course. But if this Audi continues to remain in the pits, they could get even more than that.
Yeah. Jarvis still on board, presumably.
Still in the pits. Been there for a long time. So you get the idea that it's more than just a fundamental issue with the Audi. They would have been back on track pretty quick if it was a straightforward 5-minute job. They've been in the pits for, what, 10 laps? Exactly 10 laps, in fact. So that is the equivalent of 40, just under 40 minutes. I'd say 35 minutes they've been in the pits now, that Audi, which is about what we had for the number 7 in total. Audi have just been beaten. That doesn't happen very often.
No, absolutely. But it's been reliability that's let them down, which is the thing that they're not used to. So they'll go back and regroup, work out what the situation is and get back to it, I'm sure. So maybe they need a bigger clean sheet approach for 2017.
Some people in the night were saying, is this disappointing performance from Audi going to add fuel to the rumours about them going to Formula 1? No, not in the slightest. No, I don't see Audi being in Formula 1 anytime this century.
No, I don't think that's fair. I think that's fair. Why would you be there when you can put this through an R&D budget? You're learning all the time about the future of motor vehicles while you're here, proving out everything that you can directly transfer across to a road car. Look at the stuff they've done. Everyone always refers to the headlight technology. It is the single easiest reference, but there's going to be thousands of components that have been developed on these cars that have made it onto the road cars. So it's you know, you can say the same for Formula 1 to a degree, but unfortunately the technology's just too far removed from what's feasible on an everyday road car that you or I could go and buy and drive and get serviced by your typical garage. Yeah,
fair play to Mercedes deciding to stick at it, and they are winning everything, which is kind of killing off the competition to a certain degree, you could argue. But it's a different market. Mercedes are happy to be in that market. They want to be winning every form of motor racing and have luxury cars on the table. Audi, they've got a much more intuitive plan than that.
Yeah, absolutely. Looking at the gaps again, you know, Villander just doesn't seem to want to pass Hand. They're quite happy. I would have expected Tony Villander to be faster than Joey Hand lap for lap, and the gap is just sitting there now, 6.5 seconds, so brought it down by a second, but that's just traffic causing it to ebb and flow, and they've got an LMP2 car separating them and Ryan Briscoe. So Chris Hoy now out in the Ligier LMP2 car, the Algarve Pro Racing car.
He's not done badly for his debut in Le Mans 24 Hours either.
Doing a fantastic job, and you know, that car had troubles with during the night with others in it, but no, fantastic job for Chris and the team, and I'm sure he's loving every single minute of this.
Now, why are they telling us that Anthony Davidson has participated in the Le Mans 24 Hours 4 times? He's definitely done it way more than that. He did the Velox Pro Drive Ferrari in 2003. Aston Martin Lola 2009, 2 years at Peugeot, and this is his 5th campaign for Toyota. So I make that 9. This is his 9th participation.
It's certainly not his 4th.
No, it's definitely not his 4th. He's been here a lot longer than that. He knows a lot more of the tricks in the trade. That's all we've got left, folks, of the 24 Hours. It's flashed past so quickly, and the reason it's gone past so quickly is because we are genuinely on the edge of our seats and have been pretty much since the safety car came in after 45 minutes behind the rain.
Yeah, absolutely. The race started in under a torrential downpour is the only way to put it as the cars went to the grid.
Oh, that's the six Toyota.
Spun.
Kobayashi losing it at the Porsche curves. Now
He hasn't hit anything.
No, he hasn't. Traffic.
Is he going to be straight in? Mechanics are readying themselves. You need to ready yourselves.
Just in case. What happened?
That,
Whoa!
Boys. Just completely dropped it.
Oh my
Driver
word!
error. Middle of the Porsche curves. Did he flat? Ooh. Can that camera go left? He went through the gravel trap. Clever
Yeah,
boy.
he did.
Clever boy. But, oh no, he stopped it and drove it out.
And there's flames. Oh dear. Well,
see those front wheels spinning.
The
Look at that,
1-2.
as it deploys some power through the front end.
The 1-2 might not be happening now. I'm not saying it's over for them, but that's a big headache.
If that had been only two-wheel drive, that would have been entertaining. See whether he could have got that out. Toyota doing a good job there, getting that car back out the gravel trap, and he's lost. What did he lose? He lost 20-odd seconds.
Yep. About 25. Is that all right? Is that all right? They're just looking around. Is it okay? Do we need to do something?
They'll be ready for him just in case he's picked up a puncture or anything like that. But that's, yeah, a mistake.
There you go. They've just checked everything. It's okay.
That left-hand side pod's now looking a lot looser than it was. I think they might now need to take some action there. If you look at it, the floor.
Oh yes, look at that.
Okay, so the spin has broken the floor now completely.
He could get a black and orange flag for that.
Unlikely here, but they will need to do something about it on pace, I would suggest. I think as the car's gone in, he's just broken that floor, and now it's a case of how long do they leave it before they fix it, which would then give us a two-horse race.
Andre Lotterer is about to come into the pits. And they're not too far away, actually, the number 7 Audi from moving up into 4th position. Slick's being... which compound of that is being used for the number 7?
You can't tell.
You can't tell? Ooh.
Subtle differences.
You have to be in the know to know.
Good job, good job. Toyota behind, fell off the track. Toyota behind, fell off the track.
That's a little bit of cockiness coming from Porsche there.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It's almost disappointing to hear that, you know, the ha-ha kind of...
That is a hardy ha-ha moment, isn't it?
Because it can happen to you just as quickly. So let's see. I mean, Kobayashi will be pushing like crazy now, but that left-hand floor, to me, that looks like that's going to need more of a repair than it's had. It was held together with a bit of tank tape, and as he rotated around, it was an issue. But it's interesting, you know, the Toyota there, had that not had four-wheel drive, would that have got out of that gravel trap?
I don't think it would. Not without help, anyway.
So interesting, the whole approach.
They could have lost a lap there. By having four-wheel drive, they saved their beggar. And again, the Audi goes on. We're not expecting him in yet. So...
no, as he comes through, so that's Porsche number 2 comes through past us.
Big twitch,
the Ford chicane. Yeah, the car always twitches the way as they lay the power down.
The other Porsche's in, though. Brendan Hartley coming into the pits now. It'd be quite nice to watch this pit stop, actually, because they've still got the donor car, as it were, in terms of strategy and in terms of setup, in terms of compound choice at Porsche. Down in 21st position overall, 6th in class, looking for points, nothing else. So they're not really going to get anything else, although they might get 5th out of this now if that Audi still can't get out. The 8 is out. The number 8 Audi, we've just been told by Louise Beckett, is out of the Le Mans 24 hours. Oh, out on track, sorry, my apologies. Getting panicked there. But yeah, Oliver Jarvis has got the car back on the track again. They've been in there for 39 minutes they spent in the pits. And Benoit Trullier is looking to get into the number 7. So there's going to be a bit of an inter-team squabble at this rate at Team Audi, because I think they're now both on the same lap.
Yeah. Now, my impression of the way that Toyota were using their hybrid system was that they would only deploy that front axle over a certain speed. Now, interesting that from stationary they use it.
Frederic Sauce
getting put into the car. We've talked about this a couple of times.
I think the definition, the word hero gets bandied about a lot in the world of sport in particular, motor racing in general. Frédéric Saussé is a hero. There is no questioning that.
Yeah, he is, totally. Completely agree.
Down the straight then, the Toyota recovering. Kamui Kobayashi just did a 3:26.9. So if there were problems with the tyre, I don't think they're there anymore. He's on exactly the same pace as Mark Lieb in the Audi. So he was very clever there, actually, Kamui Kobayashi. Once he felt the car snap away, he could have flat spotted the tyres there in desperation.
Let it
That's
roll
a
backwards.
split-second decision.
Yeah, absolutely. I can't afford new tyres on my race car, so whenever it spins, I always let it roll.
A racing driver instinct there, and that is literally, you don't have a massive amount of time to make that decision either when you're in the car, when you're going backwards at 160, 170 miles an hour. You've literally got to make that decision. It's an awareness
of what's around you. It's an awareness of the runoff area, and that's what makes these guys so good. You know, he knew where the walls were. He knew that the car was, you know, spinning to the outside and there was enough runoff there. So it is amazing.
Kamui Kobayashi, of course, is still the fastest man of the Le Mans 24 hours with that 3-minute 21.445 lap. He set on lap 81, so a long time ago. Personal best, though, for Vitaly Petrov. The SMP LMP2 car up in 8th position overall, 3rd in the category, chasing down Will Stevens. And he set a personal best, although it's still not as quick as Will Stevens is going.
No, Will Stevens is really trying very hard now. He wants to get there. He's desperate to close that gap, get back on the lead lap, so that if we do have any issues, they're in the fight with Ricky Almi in the Alpine. He'll be coming out at the next stop. I think Stevens will get one more stint out of this. Petrov's definitely staying in. And Nick Leventis, depends what the Straka guys do and where we are with driver times, whether Nick Leventis will need to come out of that car or not. I suspect they'll try and... So Louis just saying that I think that's Danny's going to be getting in the car. Roman Rusinov getting into the Will Stevens car. Okay, so yeah, Will be coming out at this next stop.
Yellow flags. Where is it this time? Zone 24. That's the run out of... Isn't that down the Mulsanne Straight? It's the Manor!
Not hit anything, though.
No. Hopefully Matt Rao can get it going again.
What is he doing?
What's he doing? Where is he? Where is he, actually?
Right, okay. He's gone straight on at Indianapolis.
Straight on at Indianapolis. Did he hit anything? No, I don't think he did.
No, he managed to get it straight up the escape road. We've seen that a couple of times this weekend. We saw one of the Fords on Wednesday night go off there, and
Wait a minute. How has he got it there?
No, that's a bit of clever driving on his part. Yeah, probably the same thing that you were talking about a moment ago. Don't flat spot the tyres. Just gone straight on, past there, and thought, right, okay, I'm not going to get it stopped. I've got another 50 yards of runoff area if I just pull to the right and go through the gate. One of the Fords tried that on Wednesday night and unfortunately missed it, just clipped the end of the tyre wall. So no, I think that's a bit of smart driving. He's outbraked himself and thought, right, go to the right, carry on, turn it round, get it back.
I definitely fancy a replay of that, though.
Yeah, that would have been an exciting moment.
Yeah, that would have been, okay, my heart just accelerated faster than I'm used to.
Those are the moments when, as a driver, if you're under control and if you're thinking about it, you know, you've made a mistake, but equally you're very aware of where you are and what's around you, and you can say, no, do you know what, I'm not going to panic now, I'm just going to take the escape road that I know is there, get the thing turned around and come back. So those are the ones that aren't quite so heart-stopping as the ones when you know you've got a wall straight in front of you.
He's done some big damage, though.
Yeah, okay.
That just buckled. That literally just buckled.
He's now straight on into the guardrail.
Once the nose buckled, you're not going to have any kind of control whatsoever.
Garting for the Manor guys now. I don't know how badly damaged the steering is. I mean, that was...
They could have won this. They could have won this. It's just all fallen apart.
Yeah, you know, and you could put that down to experience of the Manor guys, you know, the drivers that are in there, and the team to some regard. I don't think the team have made many mistakes, but...
well, that, I would suggest, is going to be a safety car. Because the damage to the car...
I think that'll be a slow zone. He's managing to keep the car going. He's going to take the just take the 320 board out. Nobody's going to mind.
It's not so much the damage that... Well, it's not so much where he is, but the car buckled. The nose buckled in the middle of the apex at the Porsche curves. So maybe there's debris in a very dangerous part of that part of the course.
I think they can clear it with a slow zone.
Let's watch. Here we go. Pop.
Yeah.
That's a
and
scary
the front
moment.
wheels were in the air completely.
Nothing you can do. In the wall, bang.
Braking wouldn't have helped him. Nothing would have helped him there. So I don't know. I think, you know, the majority of the debris is on the outside from the wall hit. I suspect they can do that with a slow zone either way.
Such a shame, though. Rookies this year of the Le Mans 24 Hours, but they've won so much in the past. They've competed in everything from MotoGP to GP3 to the Formula 3 European Series.
I don't know why he can't just engage. He has engaged reverse and tried to do it because he was nearly up to that 320-yard board. He's gone forwards and then thought, right, okay, now I can try and go backwards again and get the nose out, but the nose is well and truly wedged under there. He's going to struggle.
He really is. They've managed
to get...
for
slow zone yet. They're going to go slow zone 30 and 31. Yellows at 31 and 32. So, yeah, we'll go slow zone through that area.
They've had some incredible success. They were founded 26 years ago, 1990, the Manor team. They've had British Formula 3 champions in Mark Hines. Remember what happened to him? Obscurity. That's such a shame as well. Antonio Pizzonia, Formula 1 and IndyCar driver. He was also the Formula Renault UK champion for Manor in 1999, as were Kimi Räikkönen, Lewis Hamilton, and ironically, Oliver Jarvis in the Audi. So Manor has nurtured some incredible talent in the last few seasons. Räikkönen, Hamilton and Jarvis, three big names, all of whom have found success since being at Manor in their junior days. But Manor, as an LMP2 team, they have learnt a lot from this first Le Mans, and let's be fair to them, they have had an incredible effort. They've done a brilliant job considering what they've got. Here it is again. This is them rejoining. I want to see what happened before this. But here it comes. Pop. No control, no drive, nothing.
I understand why it broke, frankly. That's very odd to see he must have made contact with something.
That's kind of why I want to see what happened to get him in that escape road in the first place, because that would make a lot more sense to see what happened in the initial point of going on. They may have
clipped the guardrail on the inside through Indy, but equally, generally, they're either broken or they're not. There's not a huge amount of load going through them at that pace on the way in. He wasn't going that quick. Not a massive amount of downforce being generated.
No, he was being
point.
careful coming home, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Because he could sense there was damage. Is that Manor out of the race, do you think?
I suspect so. I suspect that is. We'll see. I mean, they can always get it back if the Manor 2 will pick them up, and then all the other bits drop off and bring it back round. But it'd be nice for those guys to get a finish.
Somebody asked earlier on, I never got round to it, but it's relevant now because we've had that Manor there. It was Dick Saplenti who gave us that one. Do the cars go back home damaged or repaired before being loaded back on the transport?
Depends how badly damaged they are. If it's got four wheels on it, you'll roll it on and send it home, typically. But then again, a lot of these cars now are insured. And a lot of these drivers paying a lot of money for insurance for the weekend. There'll be a lot of photos taken of any damage to allow them to make their claim, believe it or not. But that's how it works in motorsport these days.
Davidson, Lee, Kobayashi, Jarvis and Lotterer is the order at the moment. For the two Audis, I think on the... No, I was going to say they're on the same lap. They're not quite on the same lap. There is a lap's difference between them. Lotterer very nearly caught up with Jarvis, but there is one lap still to be made up.
Villander's just making tiny inroads into Joey Hand now. Briscoe 207 behind them on the same lap, and then we've still got this LMP2 Algarve Pro Racing car. Chris Hoy's come out of that. Michael Munnerman, the team owner's now back into that car on the same lap, but then Mark Webber in the #1 LMP1 Porsche is the next car up there.
Stevens and Petrov in together in the LMP2 battle. Stevens has come in and gone out. Petrov is doing the same. Still looks good for the Signatech Alpine though, doesn't it?
Yeah, no shadow of a doubt. There's been such a solid run for those guys. That Orica chassis branded Alpine has been a strong package all year, and the guys down at Signature, they're another one like Manor that's come from single seaters, but they know what they're doing and they know how to put a car together, and they've done a fantastic job of learning their trade here. I think this is probably the 5th year here. They've just done a solid job.
Through the Porsche curves very slowly, of course, as that manor is being cleared away.
The 82 class second place car, Tony Villander.
There's the leader. There's the leader, 2 cars up the road, as Matt Rao tries to help them get the car sorted.
So
see, I want to see what happened before that.
I think what's happened there is Rao's just gone in and unclipped the headlights so that they break, so that the wires don't get broken. We saw earlier one of the marshals just pulling the bodywork away when we saw the Alpine car go in at the first chicane, and obviously then you've got a wiring repair to do as well. So I think that's him just disconnecting the connectors so that when he does get that car lifted, all that bodywork falls away and he can get on and bring that car back.
But he reckoned without it buckling underneath the splitter on the front and sending him into the barrier. It's a real shame as well. Here's the Australian IndyCar star, Ryan Briscoe. Very talented racing driver, Ryan Briscoe. Has won pretty much everything he's ever taken part in. And that includes Formula 1, because he never actually took part in it. He was a test driver for Toyota back in the day. But there was a lot of rumour around him being a Formula 1 driver. And personally, I think he got the better end of the deal going to IndyCar
than staying where he was.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. When you look at history,
I'd agree with that.
Look at history, Toyota, well, Formula 1, 2009, 8 years in the sport, and they didn't win anything.
No, 1 podium, wasn't it? But
2 or 3 podiums.
Here and they've done a fantastic job here.
This is what the thing is, this is what they're made for. This is exactly what the Toyota company is made for.
So into the slow zone again with the Ford the 69 Ford that we're riding on board with.
3 hours 25 to go. Half a minute separates Davidson and Lieb. Matthias Tversted on Twitter says the number 5 car has made 24 stops. The number 2 Porsche 25. Is the Toyota now an entire stop less than Porsche? Close. I'm not sure they're quite there yet. Well, they might. Actually, they might be. Is that a fair comment, do we think? Davidson, 24 stops compared to 25 stops for the Porsche. Are they now actually an entire stop less than Porsche? Have they got to that point yet?
They have got to that point, but I think it can happen again. I think that's what we were understanding from what Porsche was saying earlier. The only way Porsche can do it is by eking these stints out on tyres and on fuel. So Porsche think they're going to have to splash and dash before the end, I suspect.
2 Fords in together. Briscoe is in, and a little bit further ahead of him, the 67 is in as well. Marino Franchitti, who spent all that time down at the Mulsanne gravel track before we went dark yesterday with... I still to this hour think it wasn't driver induced. Maybe a sticking throttle or something that happened with the brakes or whatever. That's not a Marino Franchitti mistake.
I agree. It was very odd, but we never heard any more about that. So I suspect that that's what water under the bridge, long gone, and Ford just now keen to get the job done. Make sure that they bring the cars home in a very strong position and fighting every bit for that win. You know. Joey Hand is leading the class. Tony Villander is chasing hard in that 488, but the 488's been fragile this year. So far, the guys have done a fantastic job at Risi, keeping that car just out and ticking around. We see it there on the screen now. You know, that's what they're here to do. That's what Risi competition have always done.
The GTE battle is obviously grabbing headlines. Ferrari versus Ford. Adam Bice on Twitter says, so if we finish now, Aston Martin and Ford GT UK will get the most points in the WEC. Potentially, they'll jump Ferrari in the standings.
Yeah, and I think that well, the Ferraris have just had a complete shocker. You know, he's absolutely right. The point being who's full-time WEC and who's not, which we haven't touched on, so it's a very good point to make. Yes, you know, if you're Aston Martin now, you're actually pretty happy with that.
If you're a WEC Aston, yeah. And there are all WEC Astons, of course.
Yeah, so no, I think totally agree with him, completely agree with him. You're in a good place right now, and your big competitors in the AF Corsa run, Ferrari 488s are out. That's it. You are taking this big bag of points now that they've been talking about all week and just and doing a runner with it. So no, completely agree. It's a very good point.
The Manor is being assisted back to the pits. It could take a while, this. And surely the marshals won't be going the whole way with him.
What I don't understand is why they're pushing him to a place of safety to fire up. It's like you can't fire the thing,
There's Graves and Merry watching on. Well, it's not Graves, actually. Merry is chatting away. There's the third place Toyota, Kobayashi, a minute off his sister car. Anthony Davidson leading. Mark Lieb in second place in the Porsche. Jarvis and Lotterer fourth and fifth. Kobayashi up the inside at Mulsanne there. A GT car giving an LMP2. Well, no, it was the Toyota, wasn't it? The hurry up. Do you really think that's going to work? That's a prototype. You're going to give the blinkers to a prototype and think it's going to work, Mr. Porsche? It's not going to happen, mate. It's not going to happen.
It depends. Some of these GTE cars are pretty quick, and if it's a slower gent in an LMP2 and he's getting held up across the apexes, we saw last night, that there's nothing in it in a straight line. A very quick peddler in a GTE car can be every bit as quick through a twiddly bit as a less quick.
Here's why Kobayashi is playing catch-up.
P2 car, yeah, exactly. And I was just having a separate conversation off air with Louise about the floor on the side of that car. The floor is getting worse and worse, and that was made worse by the spin through the gravel. So he managed to deploy the all-wheel drive system, get that car out of the gravel trap, but the floor is flapping so badly there. I can't see that tank tape's going to fix that now. Next driver is ready, but let's see what comes of it. I suspect they need to do something about it. The fact that we're seeing these close-in shots, does that mean the ACO are looking at it too?
There may be an issue with that to put Kobayashi's car, the number 6, out of contention for the victory. Let's look at it. Yeah, that's quite a fundamental problem.
Yeah, I mean, I'm surprised he's not feeling it more on the balance. The times are still there.
Yeah,
Kobayashi's pushing. There's nothing wrong with the times, but that's a big lump of floor in a fairly important area that's broken. They may even have some cooling issues because the airflow down that area of the car is where the radiators are. He's clearly getting on with it.
Still going.
And the thing's working, but we'll see.
It's clearly one of those sort of problems where if you keep going fast, then it shouldn't be too much of a problem because he's still going exactly the same sort of pace as Anthony Davidson, Mark Lieb, Oliver Jarvis. So he's there or thereabouts in the sector times where he's not being balked by a slow zone. Kobayashi is still pretty much exactly identical pace to the leaders. So it's not actually slowing him down, but then it could exacerbate. The problem could get worse. So I suppose that's their point of view. In terms of pressure, the next car down the road is 13 laps behind. That is the number 8 Audi. So that is a, what, 3-lap, 4-lap fix?
Yeah, it would be a flaw. Just talking to Louise about what's going on at Audi, and they're prepping ready for some fairly major work on the number 7 by the sounds of it. They've got brake discs out and ready, which is, part of standard service. We kind of expect them to push it back into the garage at some stage around now and do that. And again, we're assuming that Porsche and Toyota are all things equal on brake wear and that they're not going to have to do discs and pads at some stage, one or other. That is an assumption that we're currently making based on all these strategy calls. But yeah, there's something more major going on down at Audi. So as soon as they're in, we'll work it out.
The gap has come down again in GTE Pro. Joey Hand leading, Tony Villander starting to get the gap down. Here we go again. How many times can these two manufacturers cross swords in this race?
I know, 3 second gap. Hand's going to be out at the end of this one. Villander, I would think, will stay in unless they're going to single to the end. Hand will take tyres, didn't take tyres at the last stop, so whoever the next driver into the Ford is will get tyres. Villander and the Ferrari, that's strange. They've split that, so they're getting tyres one stop, driver next stop. Still managing to double stint. But I have to say, if I was those guys, and based on throwing some new boots at it, next one, stick some boots on it, stick the driver in it, and get it gone. That's going to be Dirk Müller back into that car at the next stop.
Nick Malanger asks a question we haven't needed to answer for about 20 hours. Why do the cars still have their lights on? It's completely bright out. Now, this is to do with the fact that we started this race under safety car and the race was declared a wet race. Now, even though it's dried up and it's bone dry, the regulations stipulate that if the race is declared as a wet race, you have to run with your lights on all the way to the end. That even includes the Le Mans 24 hours. So if we started the race behind the safety car, which we did, lights were mandatory, so now they're mandatory for the entirety of the race. It's not because they can see any better with them. They can't. It doesn't make a blind bit of difference in this weather. It would in the wet, it would in the dark, of course. But they've still got to continue using the lights all the way through the race because we started yesterday as a wet race. And that's the reason why the lights are still on. Jake Robson, do you think the number 2 Porsche's chance of victory is now starting to slowly fade? Lots of questions being asked about that.
I think Porsche believe that. This is number 7 in, which Louise and I have just been having a conversation about separately, so that's going to go back in the garage by the sounds of it. I think, you know, Porsche 46 seconds back. Davidson pulled out an absolutely blinding stint. Everything's equal there, you know, and over the last hour and a half, Davidson's just chipped away, and done that. But like we said before, you could lose half a minute in traffic in no time. You know, it's far from over now.
Andre Lotterer comes into the box, so he's pitting, and we have a feeling, Louise Beckett tells us, it's going to be in the garage again. Davidson leading by 46 seconds to Mark Lieb in the Porsche now. It's a big gap he's opened up, and he's still doing 3 to 4 seconds a lap quicker than the Porsche. The Porsche is just having to keep going at the moment.
I think we might have jinxed the Aston 95.
Oh, no!
That looks like both left tyres down. Is it just the rear?
I think it's the front as well. I think you're right.
No, front is up. It's just the rear. We're lucky. He's got lucky. So Turner with a left rear puncture on the way back in. I suspect Darren will come out of the car. They'll fuel it, and there'll be a new set of tyres going on that car.
Who would that be to the end? Would that be Fernando Reis to the end?
That won't. Would you triple? No. In a GTE car, that will be Fernando Reis in if he's ready.
And then Nicky Team to the end.
Team to the end. Yeah.
There's the 7 back in the garage.
Fernando Reis isn't in that car. We've got that wrong.
Sorry.
So Marco Sorensen.
Marco Sorensen, that's it.
I suspect it'll be Team in next, and then Sorensen to the end.
Yeah, Marco Sorensen, the man who felt hard done by Carmen Yorda on Twitter publicly. Bless him.
Don't do politics.
No. Politics, racing, surely not.
No, absolutely. Okay, so Louise will keep us up to date with what's going on with Audi 7. You know, they're out of this, but the internal Audi battle is still raging.
Oh, that's the Rizzi Competizione Ferrari.
It's just a spin, I hope.
That is the Rizzi Competizione Ferrari.
Same place we saw earlier.
Same place as Kobayashi. Now that's
a lot of gravel across the track.
Yeah, that's going to be a slow zone. And that is going to hand, potentially, with 3 1/4 hours to go. That gives Ford the upper hand, not just for the win.
The car's restarted.
Yeah, he has started the car.
He's got it going. Now he's going to turn left and go back through the gravel trap. Ooh.
That was a scary moment for Tony Villander.
All wheels, all tyres still inflated.
They're going to have to pit this. Let's see how he did it. Exactly the same. Carbon copy.
Yeah, over the bump. There is quite a bump there, and if you come through there offline, stood there watching on Wednesday, and the size of the bump, the cars as you're offline, if you try to go around the outside of someone there, it is particularly unsettling. So yeah, same thing, lost it over the bump.
Quiet smile in the Ford garage. We've cracked them. That's what they'll be saying.
Still a way to go, but
yeah, it's a long way to go.
The next thing is whether Villander does come straight into the pits, which he hasn't done. So Darren Turner's made it back now, coming past us with the 95. I see a bit of bodywork coming off that car now. So that's DT in.
Message from race control. Car 82 spun and continued at zone 33. They're not putting a slow zone out there. There was a lot of gravel that came onto the circuit.
Yeah, 1 or 2 cars through have probably cleared that, so 82 is into the pits.
That corner is now going to become Puncture City, potentially.
Yeah, potentially. You know, they've been careful with what they've chosen in terms of gravel types, just trying to look for damage, but there isn't anything there, is there? So that's...
So there is the Rizzi Competizione Ferrari, the 82, having pitted. It's caught them out. They've got a fresh set of boots. This is the class that isn't so much thinking about stints and thinking about conservation. You've just got to go ugly and go for it. And that's exactly what Tony Villander did. Push too hard, and the tyres go back on. Now, I'm going to look down the road. Where is the Ford for Ryan Briscoe? It's not going to get into third position.
No.
It's not going to get into second position. The Ferrari will rejoin in second place, but there, ladies and gents, is the third place car.
Just given Joey Hand what he needed in terms of a bit of breathing space.
Yep.
The dogfight is now off. But Giancarlo Fisichella getting in that car, they're out of sync on the pit stop. So again, that depends how that one's going to play out. I suspect that actually there was going to be a splash and dash anyway. So what that may have done now is play into their hands. We talked earlier about maybe some people start thinking of, if we're going to go green to the end, let's just get a stop in now, do a shorter stint now. It doesn't mean, do not write that Villander Ferrari off. If that means that they haven't got to go and do a splash and dash at the end, that could play them straight back into the game.
Yep. It's so close. The Ferrari definitely not out of this yet. Yes, they've lost a couple of minutes, but they're still on the lead lap. That is crucial. If they lost the lap now, you might be saying, well, Ford have got this. No, Giancarlo Fisichella hasn't even got back in the car yet. Audi, long faces, frustrated, tired, exhausted, desperate need for energy. And it's like hitting your head against a brick wall at the moment in that crew. Nothing seems to be going right. And that's a very crestfallen Ben Trillier, who's going to take over from Andre Lotterer. All they can do now is get points. All they can do is get points.
Yeah, get on with it and just see what they can do. This is a world championship. You know, they've won the first 2 rounds. They had the Silverstone victory taken away from them due to a plank wear issue at the end. They want to win it. They want to be there, and it's not just about Le Mans 24-hour anymore. So let's see whether they can come back from this next time out in the 6-hour race at the Nürburgring.
Well, for those petrol heads with small children of the male persuasion, happy Father's Day. You're getting an absolutely cracking bit of entertainment to sort you out for the rest of the day. It's not a bad way to spend Father's Day, is it?
No, it's not.
Glued to the box. The best motor race you're going to see this year playing out before your very eyes.
Hopefully I can get back and see my kids tonight, but we'll see.
Same. I don't think I'm going to see my children until tomorrow, unfortunately. And all 3 of them have been bouncing up and down with joy. Daddy's going to do Le Mans. Daddy's going to do Le Mans. And yeah, I think I did that at one point as well. Daddy's going to do Le Mans. So yeah, I'm absolutely desperate to run back to see the kids. It's been a fantastic weekend, but on a day like today, you want to be near them. Mark Lieb is in the pits, though. The Porsche boxes. So this could be, technically...
49 seconds, 50 seconds Davidson's now got.
Yep.
You know, he has just absolutely thrown those times in. They've not been massively quick times, but he's been able to drive away from them. Kobayashi, last time round, 29.
Kobayashi is coming into the pits.
Confirming that there's an awful lot of tape being made up, ready for the number 6.
So let's
here
watch
we go.
This is
going to be it.
The most important commodity.
All right, they're cleaning it so that the tape sticks.
Kobayashi's out. In goes... Who is that?
It's very broken.
Sarrazin. Sarrazin's in the car. Driver change at Porsche, was there? Surely it must be time for Mark Lieb to get out of the car.
No, yes, Lieb should be out. We extended that, so I'd suggest the change has already happened.
So who did they put in? Because we didn't see that.
Yeah.
So maybe...
we should be Duman now and then Yanni to the end is what I think we're going to do. Big sticky plaster going on the side of that car.
Here we go. the tape. It's the most
absolutely.
precious.
They're being careful about how they do it. They know they haven't got that much pressure from behind, so they're doing it properly. They're doing it sensibly, making sure that the repair on the floor is okay. The last thing they want is that tape to go on and fall off immediately. That's not on, boys.
That's
boys,
not on.
That's not on.
That's not
Get
on
the
the
camera
car.
out of the way and go back and fix that. Do the proper job.
Yeah, that's not going to do it, is it?
No, the mechanics have made a mistake there.
The first time that car goes down the Mulsanne, that's going to fly off.
Yeah, well, it may last a little bit longer than that, but it's certainly not going to stay completely attached. They needed to get in there and give it another pat. I hope somebody in the pit lane said to them, "That's not stuck. That's not stuck. Get it fixed. Get it fixed."
Well, you know that Porsche aren't going to tell them that.
No, radio from number 5.
Box this lap. Please confirm. Fuel stop only. Fuel stop only. How do we feel about doing a course in on these tyres? I feel like they can do it. Negative. Negative. We stay on half strategy. We stay on half strategy.
So Anthony Davidson requesting a 4th stint on those tyres. Toyota saying, no, let's stay safe. And I can understand why, actually, because Neil Yarney it is who's in the car. Okay, so Neil Yarney has got into the Porsche. Now, that suggests to me
they're going to try and
maybe
push
they
now.
are going to push him to the end.
Well, they're going to push now. They're going to push very hard now.
So maybe they're going to leave Neil Yarney in the car until the bitter end,
They're
until
going to try
that
and
lady
break
sings.
Porsche. They're going to, Toyota. They're just going to. They've put their quickest of the quick in to try and see if he can eke it out.
Well, Davidson is the smoothest of those 3 drivers. Would you say he's the fastest? I think he probably is of those
No,
3.
Kamui Kobayashi at times has shown that he's the quickest of the Toyota drivers. But you know, in that car, in the Davison car, I don't. Yeah, I mean he qualified it.
But Wemmy, you could argue, might be quicker than Davidson, but
Yeah, Davidson qualified it.
that's good enough for us. Out he goes, the race leader, looking for Toyota's first win. If they do this, they will be the 2nd Japanese manufacturer to win, the first to do so for 25 years after Mazda in 1991 with Volker Weidler, Bertrand Gachot and Britain's own Johnny Herbert. This year, it could well be another trio with a British man in the field. Sebastian Buemi, Kazuki Nakajima and Anthony Davidson. Could happen. It'll be the 3rd time a Japanese team has won after Team Go that won with the Audi R8 with Dindo Capello, Tom Christensen and Seiji Ara. A forgotten man almost in the world of the Le Mans 24 Hours. And Seiji Ara in 2004 actually did a lot of the legwork. On board with the number 7 Audi. All is not well.
Number 68, Joey Hand, is in the pits. Be interesting to see if he stays in that car.
Just as things are starting to get fever pitch, I realise in 5 minutes, Julian Porter and Peter Dunbreck are going to be in here and we're going to be out of a job for 3 hours.
Absolutely. So what's this going on with the number 7? He is up to full space. He just looked slow out of there.
This is so tight. This is so tense. Toyota haven't got this one yet. Porsche haven't lost this yet.
No, absolutely. The 7 is still in the pit lane, I believe.
No, the 7 is out on track. Benoit Trullier.
Okay, they've done the work, and he's now back out. They had front and rear deck off that car again. That was very odd.
Yeah.
So Oliver Jarvis back out and circulating as well. So both the Audis out there trying to pick up the points.
Yep, Oliver Jarvis was in the pits for 39 minutes and 24 seconds. That's one of the longest pit stops Audi have done in this race.
Joey Hand stayed in the Ford for a triple.
Yes, he did. They obviously feel he's looking pretty comfortable at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, he's obviously doing a grand job. I would have thought by now they would have made the change and then just done a double and then a single to the end. But whoever they're going to put in next, which is going to be...
It's going to be Bourdais, isn't it? Because Muller's already just done one.
We've seen Sebastian just do a long run. Sebastian has just done a long run, so it would be Mueller back in. No.
That's true, because Muller was only in for, what, 1 stint, 2 stints?
2 stints. Yeah.
2 stints, yeah, so they could go for Muller, actually.
I think it would be. I think it would be Dirk in. And then the times we saw him putting in earlier, he was the quicker of the drivers in that car. He was the one that did all the damage to the Ferrari in terms of the gap. He pulled it back. He reeled him in and made sure that that the car was there when he handed the car over to Hand. Hand inherited that gap and then just proceeded to put the pressure on the others to see the mistake that we saw from Tony Villander as he came through the karting sequence of corners on the way out of the Porsche curves. .34 must respect track limits. 34 isn't one of our front-running P2 cars.
No.
And there were a hell of a scrap there as the number 6 Toyota has to go round. Stefan Sarrazin has to go off track to get round a big gaggle of cars. P2s, GTEs all in there. The AI Corvette.
Can't afford to ease up for a second, can you?
No, absolutely. You know, it's 41-second gap to Neil Yarni now. So Yarni 41 seconds ahead of Sarrazin, but Davidson 1 minute and 4 up the road now. So Davidson's nearly got a full pit stop in his pocket on his outlap. The Yarni Porsche did have full service last time, obviously. Yarni in, and as did Sarrazin, but they tried